Okay, so if we go to page 62, I don't know if you remember this exercise. You did it in unit 1. I don't know if you did it again after that. I don't think so. So here the structure, the procedure is extremely important. Otherwise you can go crazy. So this is, remember, you have a title which is a little introduction. You can take some notes of these questions, and next time you come to class, I've written it down. Next time when you come to class, you can discuss them. But again, go through it. Look, very funny. Interested in, this was in the podcast. Okay, so read it because this is an introduction. Take some notes of the questions so that then you can discuss them in class. Now, don't do this. I don't agree with this. Okay? So, what's the procedure for this reading? The one with the gaps. Let's see if we remember. Number 1. I'm giving you some time to think about it. Oh my god, I was hitting the table while typing. I have the keyboard under the table. So read the title and subheading. What will this do for you? It will give you an idea of what the text is about. You already know, because if you've prepared the questions, you already know it's about social networking sites. So number 2, what do? You have it there in exercise 3. You have more or less what you have to do. Okay. Read. When you get to the gap, two things that you do. I'm giving you time to think about it. Okay, you predict missing information. Okay, it's a reason, it's a question, it's a reply, it's an example. Okay, they are talking about more or less. And the second thing you do is find linking evidence. What is linking evidence? Linking evidence is pronouns, topic, words, synonyms, linking devices. So I'm going to show you this here. Okay. So I may use the joke with more groups. For example, failed the exam. What does it tell us about the gap before? No, you have a pronoun. And you have the exam. 2 things. If you need to think about it more, you stop it. Just pause the video. So he said means that there will be a man or a boy before. That's why you can say he. If you say Mary had an exam, you can say he. And this, I've more or less said it, is that the exam has already been mentioned. Mary had an exam, or Peter had an exam. He failed the exam. Okay, you can say the exam because it has already appeared. Okay, we saw this when we read about the people with superpowers. Okay, we saw this, the use of the. So it's one of the uses because it has been mentioned before. That's why had an exam. He failed the exam. Okay, so this is what I mean by pronouns, or these words like the, this, exam, that. This problem was caused by, so this problem, you've mentioned the problem. Perhaps you haven't said problem, but he broke his knee. This problem, okay? Another example was actually pronoun. You may have similar words. You're talking about exams, so you may have test. It was a difficult test, okay? Or he got a 10. So you know that in that paragraph you're talking about exams, marks, and so on. Another example. However, he failed the exam. So however, how does however help us? Okay, we already have this information. This is positive or negative? Negative. So what do you need to have before if you have however? Positive. So a sentence like, think about it. 3, 2, 1. He studied really hard. However, he failed the exam. Okay? Something like that. He's incredibly clever. However, he failed the exam. This is what you need. Okay? So these are ideas that help you. So when you try to put a sentence in a gap, you have to make sure that you find some connections. Okay? These are connections that will help you be sure that that's the correct answer. So read the title and subheading so that you have an idea. Then you start reading. When you get to the gap, you predict the information that's missing. You can write some notes. I normally write a couple of words, and you highlight any potential linking evidence. Okay, so for example, in this one, at the same time, so something is happening, and at the same time something else is happening. For example, it, so there must be a reference to that before. So these are ideas, making them all these pronouns. It did this, so what is this? This is what you need to find out. Okay, and let's go back to this. It's funny, that girl, the black one, looks a lot like a student I had. I don't think she will be the same, but she looks a lot. Okay, so you highlight any potential linking evidence. Okay, pronouns, however, linking words. 3. Okay, continue reading and repeat step 2. Each time you find a gap, you repeat step 2. Number 4, when you have finished, you read A and try to place it in the text because of the meaning, not because you predicted the meaning. So you say A means in exercise 4 you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are the sentences you have to fit in the text. So you try to place it in the text because of the meaning, and once you put it there, you make an effort to find some evidence. If you don't find any linking evidence, then it's probably not the correct answer. Okay, if you don't know, remember you should put a question mark because you are not sure, or you put it outside the box. You finish. Okay, 5, repeat step 4. I know I did step 4 with B, C, okay, until you get to the end, and always try to find some connecting evidence. So this is what I can do for you. Okay, so you put this into practice, you follow, and then obviously when you're looking at this, look, such increases, so it means that some increases have appeared before. Furthermore, you are adding information. However, contrast, then, so something came, and then came reality TV. Okay, the expression for this. So this must appear before, otherwise this one is not used. Okay, so start doing it, and I'm going to give you the answer. So stop the video. It's really stupid if you don't stop the video and really do it. Okay, this is 15 minutes worth of work, and if you don't do this exercise, it's really difficult. If you don't practice, then eventually the day will come when you take the test, or you can't even take the test because you are not prepared. So not the cleverest move to cheat yourselves. So I'm going to give you the answers. Please make sure you have done it and you've revised it and you've really tried. You should spend between 15, no more than 18 minutes, okay? Between 15 and 18 minutes. So ready? Follow the procedure. I'm going to give you the answers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now stop the video, correct it, and I want you to find the evidence for the ones that you got wrong, because that's what I'm going to do. So that's it. Okay, I'm going to give you all the evidence. You should have already found the evidence, otherwise you're wasting your time and you aren't learning anything from this. Ready? So the first one was D. The connection, it, this. So it is reality TV. So because until then, the media, okay, to the fictional, situational comedy and soap operas. Then after this, so after the 90s, then came reality TV. So then is after this, no, until the 90s. So this was what there was. Esto es lo que había. This is what there was, and then came reality. So then connection, reality TV. So it turned the attention back to ourselves. It, so reality TV, did this, turning the attention back to ourselves by broadcasting the lives of everyday people. Okay, so this is, do you have several things, several connections? No. Number 2 is G. So you have successful apps and websites. And she says, interestingly, what they all have to seem in common is digital attention seeking. So they refers to apps and websites. Okay, so this is the connection. This one is not so clear perhaps as others, but you see, they are Facebook, MySpace, they focus on digital attention seeking. You're looking for attention. Okay, attention seeking. Number 3A. So have been rising. The levels have been rising. And A says such increases. So the levels of narcissism. So such increases. So that's it. It also says since its arrival. No, at the end of A, since its arrival, the advent is the arrival. So you have, I told you, topic words or synonyms. You have arrival, you have advent. Adviento, no? Adviento is la llegada de la Navidad, I think. Los días de Adviento. If you, I don't, those of you who have religion, I think Adviento is something about Christmas. It's la llegada. Okay. Next. Okay. I don't know what I did here. It says F starts with the explanation for this. This is that the scientific studies have shown all this. And then the expression for this is the narcissistic individual. So it's talking about this narcissistic individuals, and then it continues with this. Okay, this one was a bit more difficult, but anyway. Next, I made a mistake with this. I don't know. I think I wrote C, which I don't know. I think it could be. Anyway, the connection for this furthermore. So we're making up for a law. So furthermore, so addition. This need to be appreciated. It talks about this psychological aspect, and then you have the connection. The strongest one is at the end of B. A non-stop search to be valued by others. So they are strengthened. Reality is misinterpreted. So you need to be valued by others. So if they like you, then reality misinterpreted and narcissistic fantasies are strengthened. So it's like, oh, lots of people like me. Oh, I'm so beautiful because lots of people are clicking on like. So these fantasies are strengthened. I don't know. I think it could be C also because it's very, very similar. Okay. But it's true that you have these efforts in plural in C. And online evidence could be you're making an effort. So these efforts anyway. It is B, so that's what it is. I got it wrong the first time I did it. Okay, and 6E. And this one is clearer. Okay, they're talking about examining. So how have they done it? With these mathematical formulas. Okay, they can be built, and the aim of having these formulas is to make users aware. It's like, why do you think you have screen time on the mobile phone? To make you aware of how much time you spend and how much or how many hours you spend on Twitter, for example. Well, not Twitter, but on Instagram, probably most of you, or Snapchat or something like that, or WhatsApp. Okay, so the aim of this is including this. So I found this one difficult. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's not so easy. So read this, try to take some notes. We'll do it when you come to class next time. We'll do the speaking, so to get you to speak. No, so if we speak now that you're coming for a longer time. Now, forget about A and B. You have some words, okay, some vocabulary. I'll tell you the vocabulary afterwards, but we'll do these exercises first. So vocabulary, and this is what you need to do. Adjectives from nouns or verbs. You need to get the adjectives, and here you have to get the nouns. This is difficult, okay, but it will be amazing practice for you because we need to practice this. For example, this therapy or therapist is the person. So go ahead, you may use a dictionary, but try to do it with your own intelligence. I'm going to start writing the answers, so please make sure you've done it. So adjectives, I'm going to write them all. Okay, so I'm going to show you the answers for the first one. So please make sure you've done it. I'm going to show you the answers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is what it is. Be careful with the spelling of ambitious. Okay, the achievable, something like can be achieved. Okay, therapeutic. I wasn't sure. I thought it was therapeutic, but I checked. Therapeutical, because sometimes it's cal, sometimes it's ic, like scientific. Okay, so now make sure you finish the second one. You have to get the nouns. So, for example, approve, approval. Okay, so I'm going to do it. Make sure you've done it before you watch it. Okay, make sure you've done the second one. I'm going to show the answer in 3, 2, 1. Notice belief, beliefs is the plural. Approval, disapproval, this is important. Like arrival. Choice, you had this in the exam, if I'm not wrong. You had this in the exam for Rebecca that I corrected yesterday. So things appeared, and you had a book called Choices. Some of you didn't get this one. It's a bit sad. Anyway, so evidence. Okay, evidence I think was in the podcast. Evidence is abstract. You can't put evidence as pruebas. Generosity, because with the spelling, there's a U, but here there isn't. Promotion and reality. Okay, so can you look at this is vocabulary you have to learn. If you want to be good students, I suggest that you record this in part 3. Okay, next week perhaps, because I won't have so much work at the weekend. Perhaps, I don't know. Okay, you can give me the record of mistakes. So it's a good time to record it. Part 3. Like the same as this is part 3. Okay, so choose the correct form for these. Okay, make sure you've done it. I'm going to share answers in 3, 2, 1. Make sure you've done it. I'm going to show the answers. So hopeful is positive. Nothing. These are the adjectives. Noun, noun, and noun. Okay, you can stop it if you need to finish correcting it. Now, there was a lot of vocabulary in this reading, so I'm going to highlight it and you need to look it up. If there's something that is if it is vocabulary, you look it up. If it is explaining, I will. So this you have to, okay, this shameless, without shame. Notice the spelling of successful. You enable someone to, okay, enable is you make them able. It's los capacitas. Able, okay. Achievable, it was unachievable, it was in the negative. Okay, it's achievable, unachievable, you can write that. Okay, so these are words that are important. So it's successful, it appeared in the podcast. The approval of this important choice was in this. Okay, sympathy, remember sympathy is a false friend. Sympathy is compassion. Oh, this is very funny. When it comes to doing something, okay, it was in the podcast. When it comes to elections, no, the US elections, I think you have that. When it comes to, so there you are. Narcissistic, well, the adjective for narcissism, narcissistic. This, the more, blah blah. Okay, you had this in the podcast too. The higher, no, I don't know, something about the elections. I think it was living underwater. You had the more comparative. Not scientific adjective, scientist, a person, necessarily from need, necessarily. You are better off. Está mejor parado, no? You're better off like, oh, my boyfriend abandoned me, left me for someone else. Oh, you're better off like that. You're better off alone. Make up for it. So you're not coming to class today. So to make up for it, I've sent you the lesson. I've sent you a video with the lesson to make up for it, to compensate. Misinterpret, misinterpret is to interpret it badly. This is important. Like misunderstand, similar. Strengthened, we saw this in one of the last podcasts. It's amazing how things appear over and over again. Turn something into, okay, convert, okay, strengthened, and for God's sake, no, por el amor de Dios, so for its own sake. For the sake of Chile. Why are we prepared to do so much or to suffer so much for the sake of Chile? Remember this, for the sake of Chile. So this for its own sake, por ello mismo. And that's it. Okay, I will have sent also the podcast. So that's all your work. Thank you very much, and I'll tell you to read, Rebecca. Thank you very much. Bye. So look the words up, highlight them in your book. Thank you.